right, hi everybody. Apologies, my cat won't leave me. Maybe he'll leave me now. Come on, buddy, the video's going. It's about time. Well, anyways, we're talking about faith. We're talking about religion today. Oh boy, you're showing your butthole to the entire crowd, dude. Whatever, But whoa. We're talking about religion. We're talking about faith, and I'm gonna basically my argument's gonna be we've lost faith as a society, and that all the data shows this, and it's not a healthy thing. And people use certain arguments to kind of as defense mechanisms against their belief in faith or any sort of religion, and it's been a great cause of mental distress and loss of connection to higher powers, which really are what guide everything in our lives. So let's just start off on the baseline. So to me, my process was hardcore Christian. I remember very vividly in kindergarten, I think it was, my friend John, he said, if you fell into this pit, is God going to come save you? God going to come lift you up? I said, hell yeah, God can save me. God can do anything, So that was the extent of my belief. And then I went pretty much full atheist, rejecting everything. And a lot of that was based on looking at the Crusades behind me, looking at the Inquisition, looking at the sort of the power dynamics of the Catholic Church especially, and how negative that ended up being. And also looking at the Bible and some of the, endorsements of God. I mean, kind of being indifferent to slavery in a lot of ways. And, I know this is hotly contested, so let's not even focus on that too much. But anyways, fully Christian, fully atheist, and now just spiritual. Trying to connect everything together. I follow a lot of different things, but I don't consider myself Christian. I don't follow any of the revealed religions. Not even Buddhism. I don't subscribe necessarily to fully, although I think it has some of the most useful tools in the toolbox to use for spirituality. But let's just get to it. When I was born, about 70% of people were religious. That's what the studies say. Now it's at about 47%. That was 2020. So a very, very big drop in religious affiliation. And I think the prime drivers of this are they're multifaceted. There's the human body element. There's the toxification of our body and the disconnection of faculties that are normally connecting to the higher realms and giving us a connection to higher power. Then there's the technology, people almost holding technology as a sort of deity and a higher power that they can follow as if it understands the world. Meanwhile, we're the ones that create the technology. Where do we get the information to get the technology? And then there's just the information, kind of a baseline off of technology, where you have all the historical context of religion, which people didn't have in the past, and it's a lot easier to reject it based off of that historical precedence because there's a lot of negativity there. There's a lot of death, destruction, blah blah blah. And so that was again my process. Especially for me, it was looking at the history, saying, look, God loved slavery, at best he was indifferent to it, or the Crusades or the Inquisition. And I'm not saying those are fully correct. I do think they have some credence to them, and they are a big reason why I don't follow something like Christian, where there's one espoused God, and sort of that is the power you follow. Rather, I subscribe more to you are God. You have a divine presence in you. You need to discover that and discover your own power, and that's really what's going to free you from hell and get you into a place sort of like heaven. But anyways, let me recenter. So I just outlined, I think, the big reasons why people have lost faith and lost trust in religion. And I think it's a necessary process, because I don't think that the future of humanity is a Christian or an Islamic future. I think it is a spiritualist future connected to the higher powers through our own power as our own identity as a sort of God, rather than following an outside force, which could really be anything. I mean, I really think the most plausible concept of the Christian God in the Old Testament, especially, is one of a sort of extraterrestrial. Whether that's an extraterrestrial from the future of Earth that time traveled, from somewhere else in the universe. I really do believe that is the most powerful argument to be made about what that God was. You can look at Moses parting the Red Sea, anti-gravity, but I know you can't. Me getting there is so convoluted, so other words. It's not in the context of this video. If you want to put a comment down asking me about that, maybe I will make a video relating to that and describe it more in detail. But I can't do it right now. All I'm saying is I view the God of the Bible as more of a kind of controller. It's a revealed religion, and not as something trying to get us free from our bonds. Now, Jesus, on the other hand, I do think, here's the funny thing I think about Jesus. I think Jesus was connected to God in a pretty high fashion, had a very pure message to give out. However, the God he was faithful to wasn't actually the God of the Old Testament. It wasn't the Christian God, which I view as more human-like, and every action he performs seems to be fairly human. So I know I just took a tangent on why I think the future of the earth is not a Christian one or a religious one in the way we see religion today. But again, as I said, I think it's a necessary process for us to lose that religion, and now I think we're gaining traction on the up end, putting back into faith. Because here's the real key. Like I said this with the technology. Where did the technology come from? When we look at creativity and we look at how humans develop these really, really cool things all the time, there is no source. There's no objective way to say, the brain neurons fired this way. It just happened to. No, it comes out of nowhere. Okay. This is the way I view it. Okay. It comes out of nowhere. And at the end of the day, that nowhere is our connection to the higher realm, to a higher dimension, whatever you want to call it, somewhere where the information is already encased, and then it kind of filters down and we perceive it and we can drive it into the physical reality. Okay. And if you look at, this is another huge controversial point, but if you look at Nazi Germany, if you look at the elites, and the history of the elites, what they would do is literally connect to these spiritual entities, and they would give them information. This is what they believe. I'm not saying this is truth or whatever. I'm saying this is what the Nazis believed. They believed they were in contact with entities, aliens, whatever you want to call it, and they would give them information, and then it would work, And so, again, hugely controversial, but I'm making, the case here for the future of religion. And so I have a lot of sympathy for people who lost their faith, because I think it's a totally rational thing for people to do. And I also have a lot of sympathy for people who keep their faith, because I think that's rational as well. Because I think I needed both. I needed to lose the faith to gain a new faith, and that's where I want to steer the world now, is into a new faith. But here's why we really need faith. As I said, you need, the creativity comes from nowhere. At the end of the day, everything comes from nowhere. It's this oneness, it's this energy, field that we find ourselves in, and it just constantly morphs and changes. So a lot of atheists now, they think they understand the world based on technology or, information and even quantum physics to an extent. Although I think quantum physics is a very useful thing to frame, the universe in. But at the end of the day, when they really get down to brass tacks, they don't know what's truly going on. They don't know the highest laws of the universe. Nobody really does. There's always a higher growth, and that's, to me, what faith represents. It's that constant search for a higher truth, and understanding that you'll never be at that I understand everything point. It's always about that growth, and there is always a higher power to reach towards, in order to bring forward your intentions and bring forward, manifest what you're trying to find. And so when I see people that are lost and don't have any faith, what I really see is people who are stuck in the old reality of things and want it to just be this 3D place where they can, you know, eat food, play video games, use the technology, travel space, you know, do all the fun things, you know. But that really takes, I think, the meaning out of life. Not that there's any meaning to begin with, but that's almost the meaning. So many paradoxes here, people, and I'm sorry, but again, this is such a deep topic, you know, to really cover, and I'm just going everywhere. My brain is just everywhere. But the people that are searching for this matrix kind of reality where everything's kind of programmed and you can see, have everything, blah, 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 they're the most depressed people I know. And that's just my experience, you know, and I'd love to hear what you think about people that don't have any faith. Because even though I don't have a belief in the Christian religion, when I see people that have faith in that religion, you know, I see them reaching towards God, and I see them just looking to find a peace in the world, understanding that they don't need to solve all the answers, you know, they don't need to know everything, you know, they can just be and understand that there is a higher plan for them. You don't need to understand every single facet of what your destiny is every single moment, you know. Most of the time it won't be clear to you until maybe the end of your life, and then a new journey begins. So man, I think that's really about it. You know, I think that's a huge thought, rant, experiment, blah blah blah, you know. Again, talking about faith, talking about why I think it's important, you know, and talking about how we got here, talking about where we're going, talking about why, you know, I lost religion, why I don't want to go back to religion, but why I keep faith, you know. So this whole thing, you know, I hope you enjoyed it. I love you very much. I love everybody very much, and tell me your experience in faith. Tell me what other people have seen. You know, just say anything, man. I don't care, you know, but I hope you enjoyed it. All right, you know, and I'll come at you with another rant, just bumping, you know, sometime in the future, and hopefully it'll be, you know, a couple days, you know. And I do plan on doing some sort of energy update because things have been interesting recently, and I hope, you know, if you're into that, you know, I might do one of those. So I'll see you later. Have a good time. Peace.